Coming up.
No way. I'm just going to glue the caliper. Oi! It's come for a visit. Crawl under the Viva. Interesting. A face full of brake fluid. Hello Retro Rebuild family and welcome back to the channel. So a guy made a mistake and put the calipers on wrong. Oi! You put the calipers on the wrong side. Ah yeah, easy done though, isn't it? And that's not how you rebuild a car. What you want to do is strip it completely down and have the shell dipped. What makes you an expert on rebuilding cars like? I've seen every episode of Car SOS. I'm going to go and help someone rebuild the Mark II Escort. I bet you at least you can find parts for them. Get out of here, Teen Wolf. Now I've swapped the calipers round so the bleed nipples are at the top. Some eagle-eyed viewers of you would have realised that the calipers were the bleed nipple or the bleed screw was the other way around in the last video. And there's a very good reason for that. I put them on the wrong side. So I'm just going to glue the caliper and hope that it fixes it. And if it doesn't work, I've always got a handbrake. Just kidding about gluing it. What I'm going to do is seal up the crack on it or the split to stop brake fluid peeing everywhere, because I still want to fill it up and bleed the back ones. So I'm going to use some of this super steel. If you watched the last video, you'll also remember that this caliper is broken. This was on the other side, but now that I put the calipers the right way around, it's on this side. So the good news is the right caliper works now, but the left one doesn't. Wasn't happening with the bleed screw in, so I bunged it up, took the screw out, bunged up the hole in the crack, and hopefully that'll help with bleeding the brakes once I sort the back ones for now. I have put some feelers out for some new calipers, but it turns out it's not as easy as that. I thought there was just Girling brake calipers and Lockheed brake calipers. Well, it turns out there's different styles of Girling and different styles of Lockheed ones. I thought I'd just manage to pick up a direct replacement one, but it turns out I am going to get some more Lockheed ones, but it looks like they're a different type. I'll let you all know about it. I'm emailing and talking to people at the minute. So before I buy anything, I'm going to take out the rear hubs and check the brakes before I get replacement ones, just in case that the rear cylinders on these were only put on 1975 yellow Vivas made in October on a full moon. Maybe blow some air down the rear brake line, blow some compressed air down and see if it to clear the brake lines, try and test them, maybe get a face full of brake fluid. I've never had the rear wheels off yet, so I've never seen the hubs, so I imagine the last time the wheels were off this was 30 years ago. Very crusty. What's that jammed in there? Is that a tyre weight? I don't know. Oh nice, there's the retaining bolt. That's going to come out easy, isn't it? Looks a bit crispy under there, like. I need a rear flexi. Forgot about that. But look at the stone chip, or the under seal under here, and on the tank. Save the underneath of this, like. No way. Get out of town. The shoes and the springs don't look bad at all. My dad's come for a visit and he has his Wolseley 2200. If you remember the first video, I called it an Austin, but you'll know why if you know the land crabs. It's still a land crab. And it's his daily. It's in good nick. By no means a show car, but it's in lovely condition. Driven, not garaged. Made the mistake because I know my dad was always looking for an Austin or a Wolseley, and he just happened to get the Wolseley one, and I kept calling it an Austin. Whoopsie. Does anyone know if people used to paint these black, or did they come black from the factory? Because a lot of them that we've seen are just chrome, but we've seen quite a few with these black inserts. Well, black matte, looks like matte paint. I've also got a mouthful of pasty, so apologies if I sound a bit funny. Well, funnier. It's now the next day and I've got a cover over the Viva because it's meant to rain. Oh no. It's also just got canny windy. Well, that was a nightmare to get off. There's a little crispier in here compared to the other side. Well, that's to be expected because of the crack in the hub. So I am going to try and reuse the cylinder and the shoes on both sides just for the test drive, and then I plan to replace them all. In the next video I'll be replacing the brake lines. I need to order up a flexi, and it's I'll show you the setup of that in the next one. It's very crispy under here. I'll give this all a refurb, a rub down. I'll give it a spray and I'll undercoat it. Maybe try some of that, is it lanol oil or something like that eventually. That's unless these are goosed. But for now, I have to pop out and get some little spanners. Interesting. A couple of Astras becoming one with the earth again. I know for a fact that car's been off the road for over 22 years. I always used to walk past it. I might knock and have a look at it one of these days. It looks like it's well shot, like. Should I? I don't know. Right, I've just been for a trip out here because the smallest spanner I had was 7mm, and that was still too big for the bleed screw on the back of the cylinder. So Screwfix didn't have any in stock, so borrowed a load of little spanners off my dad, plus sockets, and I think he said this was off a Mini, like the brake adjusters on a Mini, and yeah, the open end bit there. But also, after speaking to loads of people and emailing people, thank you very much Vauxhall Green Parts, by the way, who did offer us a replacement, but it wasn't the right one. And actually, I considered driving about 200 miles for the closest one because I found some for sale. I found some replacement calipers, the exact same ones as mine. And when I was messaging the guy on Marketplace interwebs, he was round the corner. The exact same calipers as mine round the corner from us. Unbelievable. Bought them off a canny fella who used to have a Viva Coupe and had these as spares, but give up trying to find parts for it, so he got rid of it. I can understand why. Right, so I've got a caliper to clean up and rebuild, but for now let's get back on the Viva and see if we can draw some brake fluid through that back bleed screw. Let's see if we can get brakes. I really need to sort this workshop out. Workshop tour coming up. So I still wasn't getting brakes, so I cracked these off. It was peeing out of this one, but I wasn't getting anything out of this one. So I slackened it off, put on the sucky blowy gun, got some out of there. This one, there wasn't much coming out here either. Got some out of there, tightened them back up, started pumping the brakes, and I've actually got front brakes now. Use my work companion here to press the brake. Someone did mention replacing all the seals on the master cylinder, and I will do that eventually. The brake pedal still is a bit soft, but both the front brakes are solid, so that temporary fix I did on that one worked absolutely fine. And there is fluid peeing out one of the joins going into one of the cylinders on the back, but it seems that the back cylinders are frozen solid. You know it's time for new boots when you get up and your insoles slip out the side of your boot. Looks like a fish. So I think in the next video we'll get the rear cylinders off and see if we can get them working. Replace the rear brake lines and we'll give the Viva a clean underneath. So why do I want to do what I do, and why did I do it in that order? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Who knows? I'm just a dude mucking about with his car in the driveway. I've always replaced brake pads on my cars and coil springs and everything like that for years, but I've never really got in depth replacing stuff and everything like that. And this is the oldest car I've ever worked on. Sometimes I'm going to get it wrong, sometimes I'm going to get it right. But if I do gain little bits of knowledge, then I'll pass it on along the way. Pass it on to people without being snooty and without pretending that I know it all, and without telling people how much I know and how much they don't know. Help people. No one came out of the womb knowing how to fix a car. Help people. If they don't know someone, let them know without being an arrogant. Thank you very much for watching. Love all yous all. Retro Rebuild family. Catch us later. Yes, I've got a caliper. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hello.
Behind your frozen eyes, skies of hate and laughter make me feel just one more thing than I. And even though that I despise the thing you're after,